On the surface, the Moscow suburb of LYUBERTSY looks like an average Russian town. But look and listen, literally beneath the surface, and you'll find a different LYUBERTSY, a LYUBERTSY hidden from most people. The stench down here suggests only the strong-willed choose to walk down these paths, the paths to strength and pride. For under almost every apartment building, bodybuilders, men and boys, are hard at work in homemade gyms.
There is a long-standing tradition of bodybuilding in LYUBERTSY. It started in the 1960s, kind of by accident.
LYUBERTSY is a sports-minded town, so naturally, bodybuilding is big here. Kids grow into the sport as a matter of pride. They lift weights, not to compete, but to prove their manhood. The government had forced bodybuilders in LYUBERTSY and other Russian towns to go underground. It was only recently that the Kremlin changed its mind and recognized bodybuilding as an official sport. But it was when bodybuilders from LYUBERTSY came out of the basement that the trouble began.
I think it's okay that the guys from LYUBERTSY practice bodybuilding, but it's not right that they use their strength for violence. They get money from other people because they're strong and do things like that. I think that's bad.
What is this Moscow man talking about? A reputation. A reputation for intolerance of other views, extortion, and violence. It's the reputation of the LYUBERs.
LYUBERs are the guys who established a network of underground gyms in their hometown and practiced bodybuilding there. They didn't share the convictions, the ideas of some groups of Muscovite youth. For example, they didn't share the aspiration toward rock music. And they came in Moscow to fight and to beat those guys who like heavy metal music.
LYUBERs are mostly teenage boys who come to Moscow for entertainment.
Our young people in LYUBERTSY, they do not have much opportunity for entertainment, so they come to Moscow for theaters and discos.
We have always wanted to go to Moscow to have a rest, to have some action. And we go to cafes, restaurants, and discos, and that is natural. Of course, there was plenty of interest in those places for local guys, and that led to clashes. LYUBERs aren't an organization. They're just some kids who have hot blood, and they want to do something. They want action, and sometimes they fight. And these guys, they have a hymn. It starts like this. LYUBERTSY will become the center of Russia, and they profess that they are for social justice. But in fact, in practice, all that ends up is fighting.
SERGEI ZAITSEV is a LYUBER. He was born and raised in LYUBERTSY, and he's become a champion powerlifter and bodybuilder. SERGEI admits LYUBERs are a close-knit group, and they stick up for each other.
Everybody sticks together. There is revenge if a LYUBER gets beat up. Big guys in LYUBERTSY come to Moscow. Skinny guys don't like it.
But SERGEI and other LYUBERs say their reputation far exceeds reality.
I think the bad reputation of LYUBERTSY is exaggerated, mostly by the press. After the press took up the story, gangs of youngsters in LYUBERTSY started to organize to go to Moscow and to fight there. Actually, what the press did was to give them the incentive to do this. In late 1986, the press cracked down on unofficial organizations. The LYUBERs were hit hard. The press said bodybuilding wasn't healthy. It was an attempt to gain individual strength, which was bad.
Many Moscow citizens agree that the LYUBERs aren't that bad.
I think their reputation is because LYUBERTSY is a small town, and guys from LYUBERTSY stick together, and they go along the streets in big gangs and not alone.
In fact, a recent survey indicated that LYUBERTSY had the lowest juvenile delinquency rate of any nearby Moscow suburb. LYUBERs, like SERGEI, say the press has backed off somewhat, but they contend authorities still keep a close eye on their activities. That's one reason why they won't say much on camera. But what goes without saying is that the pride built in these underground gyms has given the town of LYUBERTSY and the sport of bodybuilding in the Soviet Union a controversial reputation.